Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing very well today. So today's video is going to be a get ready with me. It's been a while since I have sat down and got ready with y'all and just did my makeup. So let's go ahead and get into it. Firstly, for primer, I do want to go in with the NYX, the face glue. I actually am in the process currently of ranking all of the makeup in my collection, and funny enough, this actually ranked, I think, lowest, and I've actually really been liking it lately. I just feel like the first time I tried it, I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. It's like it wasn't, like maybe it just wasn't working for me that time, but now I've really been liking it. I used it like almost every time I did my makeup last week. So I am hopeful that it wears well today because it has been. So anyways, I'm going to be using this for my primer today. And then something that I love to do is go in with my e.l.f. This is the Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. I use this as a primer spray. And I feel like that really helps with just, I don't know, like prepping my skin. I'm not really sure what it does, but it must be either a placebo effect or something, but I feel like using a primer mist really does help me out. I do like to let that primer and spray combo just kind of like sink into the skin a little bit. So I do want to give that a minute to set. I hope you guys have been doing well. I'm really excited to film a get ready with me today. It's been asked a few times in my comments like, hey, like, are you gonna do a get ready with me? Or I would love to see a get ready with me from you. And so that is what we're doing today. I think the primer has probably had enough time to sink in. I'm really hoping so. I do want to go in with the foundation that I have been loving lately, and I feel like I've been talking a lot about it on my channel, and so I wanted to feature it so that you guys can actually see it in action. So this is the Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation. It's the Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. I love this stuff. Every time I try and link it, I realize that it's not like super readily available. I'm able to link it like at Walmart, and then I actually purchased mine at CVS. It also might be available at Target. So definitely look around for this one. I feel like it's not as common as like the original Photo Focus foundation, like the matte version. So don't get discouraged like if you don't see it like on Ulta or whatever, because I have seen it available at other retailers, so be sure to look around. I really like this foundation. I'm going to blend it out with my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. But I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's been a minute since I've actually like gotten ready with you all. I really like filming them. They just take a little bit more time to film, and me working full time, sometimes it's just easier and quicker for me to just kind of like not do a get ready with me and just do like a sit down video where I've already done my makeup. But it's definitely been like, I've definitely been due for a get ready with me. So I'm happy to film one. All right, so I think I'm really happy with the coverage that I have currently with that foundation. So next, let's go in with concealer. By the way, I am not using, I don't believe, any new products today. I'm really just kind of like shopping my stash. I'm pulling from my everyday makeup drawer, but I also pulled from my makeup collection because I actually, you guys are in store because, or have some fun in store, what have you, because I actually want to create a blue eyeshadow look today. And because I was playing around with like the palettes in my collection, like I was just like swatching things, and I was really feeling the Colourpop Pokemon palette, the blue shades in particular. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pull this one out to play around with those blues. I've really only used that palette once, and I used the purples, and I wasn't like super impressed with the palette. So I'm hoping that I have a good experience with it today. I swatched the blues and I thought they swatched really well. So I'm really hopeful that it pans out for me today. All right, so concealer has been blended in. I'm really loving that concealer. It's the Shiseido, I want to say it's the Synchro Skin Self Refreshing Concealer, and I do wear the shade 20 Light. Really, really like that one. Now let's go ahead and go in with some cream bronzer. And I really want to try to get as much use out of this bronzer as possible. This is the Rare Beauty cream bronzer. I do have the shade Happy Soul. I've just had this in my collection for quite some time now that I'm wanting to just get as much use out of it as possible. But anyways, what have you guys been up to? So a few things that I've really been interested in. So I feel like my husband and I lately, we've been really obsessed with physical media shopping. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically shopping for DVDs, for VHS, for records. That's just really what I've been interested in lately. I feel like I've discovered a few YouTube channels, and by a few, I mean one. Why did I say that? I feel like I discovered a YouTube channel that I have really liked. So my husband and I, we are really into horror movies. We love scary movies, and I'm definitely a baby still, so I can't watch horror movies like every day, but we definitely are really into them. And there's this YouTuber that I discovered that I really, really like. Her channel name is Possessed by Horror. And she has just really, really inspired me to kind of own some of my favorite DVDs, or favorite movies on DVD, right? That way I have them like readily available and stuff. And so that has been a lot of fun. We have here in San Antonio, we have multiple places that we can look for physical media. So we often go to CD Exchange or DVD Exchange, Movie Exchange. I want to say all of those are under like the same umbrella. They're just named different things. We also love looking at Half Price Books, like that is a favorite as well. So for cream liquid blush, because of the blues and the palette, I felt like a peach would look really cute with the blues. So I had a few in mind. So I have my Undone Beauty Lip to Cheek palette in the shade Flare. This is probably the one that I'm gonna go in with. I think it's such a cute shade. I also pulled for my Tarte Maneater Blush and Glow Cheek Plump in the shade Coral, because again, I thought that would look nice. And then I also have my Juvia's Place liquid blush in the shade in the shade Soft Tulip. I definitely don't think I want to use the Tarte. I don't know, I'm just not really like feeling it. So I have swatches. So there's the Undone Beauty, and then this is the Juvia's Place. I think I'm actually gonna go in with, let me look at the blues again in the palette. I feel like if I do that, I'll really know. So these are the blues right here. It's these 3 blue shades. See what I mean? That I feel like a peach would look really pretty with those. Okay, well, I really want to use this Undone one, so I'm just going to. This is such a cute shade. It's in the shade Flare. So I'm just gonna go for it. I'm feeling it, so I might as well go with that feeling. But anyways, so I've really been loving physical media shopping, and I've been loving just like finding all of my favorite movies on DVD. Something I've really been into is I love like 90s, like 80s and 90s, like classic rom-coms. And so I've been also on the hunt for a lot of those. So like I purchased When Harry Met Sally. I purchased You've Got Mail, which I saw You've Got Mail for the first time yesterday. It's such a good movie, you guys. I had low expectations because my husband, he actually has seen a lot of these rom-coms. He really likes rom-coms. And so he said that it was really boring, and I was just like, okay, like I trust him, and you know, I felt like if he thought it was boring, I probably was gonna think it was boring. That is such a beautiful color. But I actually really liked it. I also really liked When Harry Met Sally, and same thing, he said that it was really boring. So I got on to him because I told him, I was like, you need to give these movies more chances. Like, what is wrong with you? Because I really, really like both of those movies, When Harry Met Sally and You've Got Mail. So anyways, so like I've been loving like collecting those like classic rom-coms and just kind of having them on DVD. One that I was really unimpressed with though, however, was My Best Friend's Wedding. Like, I don't know, I did not care for that movie. I remember my roommate in college just really, really loved that movie. And I'm sorry, I watched it maybe a week or so ago and I'm just like, what is this movie? Like, I did not really like it that much. I'm someone who, I want romance, you know what I mean? Like, I want people to end up together at the end, and like that movie, like, spoiler alert, that doesn't happen in that film. And so I was just kind of irritated throughout that movie because I wasn't really sure like who to root for, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put on some powder. So I've been loving doing like my pink powder for underneath the eyes and then using a loose setting powder for all over. Currently I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection powder and I have the shade light pink. So we've really been into physical media shopping. And then I also recently finished watching The Big Bang Theory again. So that's been really fun. And then now I'm rewatching Frasier for like, I don't know, the third or fourth time. And I'm enjoying that so much. I love that show. So I'm actually very curious, are any of my subscribers, do any of y'all watch scary movies? We have gone to the movies this year. We of course saw Sinners. That was such a phenomenal movie. I actually don't think though that was a horror film. From a horror fan, I just did not feel like that was really a horror film. I feel like that was more of like a historical drama piece, but anyways. We also saw Companion like earlier in the year. That one was pretty good. It's not my favorite though. Like, that's just not my favorite style of horror movies, if that makes sense. Now I'm using the Huda Beauty loose powder. We also saw Until Dawn, which is like based on a game. That one was really, really good. I really enjoyed that movie. My favorite horror movie release though of the year that I saw in movies has easily been Bring Her Back. I really, really liked that movie. Like, hands down, that's been the best so far. I'm really excited for Weapons to come out. I definitely want to see that one. But anyways, if you are a horror fan and if you've seen any of the new releases, if so, let me know. What is your favorite one that you've watched? Really curious to know. Mine, in theaters, my favorite has been Bring Her Back. All right, so now let's go ahead and like top off some of these color products because you guys know I love to have more pigment than this. So I'm going in, this is actually new to me. This is not a new product though, but this is new to me. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Matte Bronzer. I went to Ulta the other day and I picked up one of the primer infused bronzers as well as one of the primer infused blushes. And I picked up the shade Forever Sunkissed. I've just heard really, really good things about these, like this formula from e.l.f. that I wanted to give it a go. And so far so good. It does seem like a really, really soft powder, which I enjoy. I also love that it's not like super, super pigmented. It's definitely buildable, which I can get behind. And I actually prefer that over something that's like super, super pigmented. I like to know that I can kind of work with it a little bit. And I do feel like that's the case with these powders. For blush, because I want to keep with that like kind of like peachy moment, I do want to go in with this Juvia's Place Duo. This is the Blushed Rouge Volume 2 blush, and it comes with these two blushes. I think I want to do a mix of both of these. I feel like that will pair with the Undone blush really well. Beautiful, I love that. I think that turned out so pretty. Let me tame it down just like a little bit and just kind of like dab my powder brush over it. Okay, now I'm going to do a few things off of camera. I'm going to fill in my brows and put on my eyeshadow primer, and then we'll be back. All right, so I did my brows. I used, of course, my Wet n Wild's retractable brow pencil. And then for eyeshadow primer, I've been loving using my Sigma. This is the eyeshadow base primer, and I have the shade Sorbet. I feel like these work so well as an eyeshadow primer. So I love these. feel like the brows are browing today. Something I forgot, I do want to put on a little bit of highlighter. I have been loving this so much. This is from Colourpop. It's their Super Shock Cheek in the shade Happy Thoughts. And this is from their Tinkerbell collection. And I love just kind of like rubbing my finger in it and literally just pressing it in, even kind of pressing it into like my eye crease right here. I love that look. It's so stunning. I'm gonna do a little bit more, and I really just focus it in, and I kind of just like naturally kind of blend it into the blush. It's so stunning, and because it's like that creamy formula, I feel like it really does not emphasize texture. It is so stunning. I love it so much. It's so stunning, beautiful. All right, so now let's get into the eyeshadow look. I'm really, really excited. Oh my God, I feel like I put on way too much highlighter on that side. Why did I bring that down so far? That's so frustrating. That's irritating. I was not wanting to bring it down that far. Oh well, let me just put on a little bit of blush to maybe try and cover that up. All right, whatevs. Okay, so for eyeshadow, like I mentioned, I do want to use the Colourpop Pokemon palette. I was just feeling really, really inspired by this one. And I was swatching and like playing around with it, and I was very, very impressed with the blues in here, especially with the matte blues right here. So I would love to create a look using the blues. I think it'll be really, really fun. So I do want to start with the shade Cerulean City, which is the lighter blue matte. I am going to pack this on as much as possible because I don't want any fallout if possible. And what I do is I literally just stamp it on first before I go in with blending. And doing that, I feel like really, really helps with keeping that color and not automatically and immediately just kind of like blending it away. Stamping it on really helps kind of, one, control the color, but also keep the color there. Going in with a little bit more, tapping off the brush, same thing, just kind of stamping it. And you basically just do this until you're happy with the pigmentation level. Everyone's going to be different when it comes to that in particular. But yeah, I think that showed up so well. It's beautiful. Other side, and I'm really, really like coating my brush here. And again, just kind of like tapping, 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 like stamping it on, right? And it's okay if it gets on your lid. It doesn't really matter because I'm gonna go in with a shimmer anyways. Yeah, I had almost ridden this palette off completely and was playing around. I don't know what inspired me to swatch the blues, and I was really, really happy with how they swatched, particularly this shade here. Looks crazy, I know, but trust the process. Then I'm gonna go in with this blue here. This is SSN. It's like the deeper-ish kind of blue matte. And I'm going to pack this on kind of like my outer corner, outer crease brush. And I'm going to just kind of like, basically like I would any other color, and just kind of like stamp this onto the crease and then blend. Once I feel like I have the color where I want it, I start blending. And that really helps with fallouts if you press first before you blend. Keep in mind, I'm not a professional. This is just what works best for me. So apply your eyeshadow, do your eyeshadow in a way that works best for you. This is just what works for me, especially when dealing with color. And you can't be scared. You just have to go in and just trust that it's all going to come together at the end, because whenever you start freaking out, I feel like that's when you really can mess up your makeup. I know that sounds kind of dramatic, but it's true, you know, like you just kind of have to trust the process, and also realize that like most of the time you're not gonna like it, but then other people are going to love it. That's what I've noticed when I wear color. I'm like not sure how I feel about it, And then that's whenever I get the most compliments from you guys or from like my husband or from just like strangers in my everyday life. They'll comment and I'm just like, wow, okay, like I wasn't even feeling this eye look and here we are, like I'm literally getting compliments. Okay, going back to the blending brush. I didn't love that blue as much as the first one. I think I'm gonna pack a little bit more of that deeper blue onto the outer corner just because I don't want to lose that color. And it might be better not even to blend, just stamp, because you can risk it blending away completely. And I feel like I got very minimal fallout, which is so impressive. All right, now let's go ahead and go in with my glitter glue. That's really all that I'm gonna do. This is my NYX glitter primer, and this really helps for shimmer shades. We're gonna put this on. All right, and then for the shimmer shade, I'm literally gonna go in with the other, like the shimmery blue, and put that all over the lid. So it's the shade Evolution, which is this one right here. This blue was definitely calling my name whenever I swatched it. I thought it was so stunning. So beautiful, wow. Okay, so maybe this Pokemon palette isn't so bad after all, question mark? All right, so now, because I'm afraid my camera battery is going to die soon, I'm going to put on my mascara off camera and then we'll come back and do a lip and finish off this look. All right, so here is the finished look. Really, really love how the look turned out. I'm really impressed with that Pokemon palette. I also added a little bit in the inner corner. It was a shade from the palette. And then for mascara, I did go in with this one from Fenty. I've really been liking this one, but it is kind of difficult, I've realized, to take off. It is the Hella Thick volumizing mascara, but it's so beautiful. It literally does so much for the lashes. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. I mean, it does so much. It's just, again, one of those things where I feel like it's kind of difficult to take this one off at the end of the day. But anyways, now let's go ahead and go in with the lip product. I kind of want to keep on with the peachy vibe and match that with the lips. I have a ton of different options. I have like this kind of like peachy corally shade. Here's what that one looks like. Such an easy, beautiful lippy. And then I also was kind of considering this stain from Hard Candy. That could be fun, but it also might be a little bit too much for the look. And then Coconut from Tarte is always a really great option. And then I also have this CoverGirl Yummy Gloss, and this one is in the shade Glamingo Pink. I'm not sure because I don't want it to be too much with the eye look. Maybe let's go in with this one from CoverGirl. Let's see how this looks. It may be too sheer. No, I think that works. I'm someone, you guys know, I'm not a lippy person. Oh my gosh, I can feel the gloss, like the thickness. You guys know that I'm not a lippy person, so whatever is going to be the easiest. So literally just throwing on this CoverGirl gloss and Glamingo Pink was so easy for me. I also forgot to mention, I did spray my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I'm trying to finish this one up. This one is still in the Summer Solstice scent, which I don't think they sell anymore, sadly, but I'm trying to finish that one up. But yeah, that is everything in today's video. Something about my brows is just not it today. I don't know, I'm not loving my brows today, but anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed this Get Ready With Me. Sorry if I was a little bit scatterbrained. I feel like that's just that's how I am sometimes. And whenever it's been a while that I've done a Get Ready With Me, I feel like I'm even more scatterbrained, to be honest. But I hope that you still enjoyed getting ready with me. Comment down below, what have been your favorite scary movies lately? Do you have a favorite scary movie of all time? I would love to hear from you. Also, have you seen any of the new scary movies this year or that released in theaters this year? I would love to know that as well. What have you been interested in lately? What have been your hobbies lately? I just want to hear all about it. And if you liked this video, if you like content like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my YouTube channel family here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye.